Yeah, I think no slate has prevailed in totality. So it's not the NDZ slate that won or the Zuma faction that won, nor is it the CR17 slate that won. How do you interpret that? That's the key question, isn't it? The ANC is trying to put a PR spin on it, saying that, look, it's a unity slate, the branches are pushing for unity. But this was not a unity where, they came to this conclusion on their own. Where, say, beforehand, they decided, okay, let's have a top six that will accommodate both the factions, both the camps. This was forced upon them via the ballot, and by very, very slim margins. So it was not unity by desire, it was more unity in terms of the outcome. And this is the big question going forward, that is this actually a sign of the unity of the ANC, that they are mature enough to say, okay, let's take 3 from this side and 3 from that side and put them together, or is this actually a sign, a manifestation of the disunity in the ANC, that they're so disunited that both factions are almost equally as strong? And I think it's the latter. Now, if we look at what the expectations were going into the elections for the top six after the nominations, I think the 4 positions, there was this logical expectation that certain individuals will prevail. So for national chair, it was obvious that Gwede Mantashe had a bit of a lead over Nathi Mthethwa. Jessie Duarte had a lead over her opponent, Paul Mashatile over Mashabane, and Didi Mabuza over Lindiwe Sisulu. So there was no big shock there. I think the 2 key positions, the 2 most important positions in the top 6, is the president of the party and the secretary general of the party. The president is the captain, he's the driver, and the secretary general is the engine, if you want to use the vehicle analogy. And it was very tight between Ramaphosa and Dlamini Zuma. I think many were surprised by how tight it was, because all predictions going into the conference was that Ramaphosa had a greater lead than what actually 179 votes reflected. On the other hand, the biggest shock for me, and I think for many people, was that Ace Magashule has come in as the Secretary General of the ANC. And I think going forward, this is the biggest problem that the ANC has. They've got 2 people in 2 very key positions that have very dubious track records and huge question marks around them. Didi Mabuza as the Vice President. This is a man who was fired from his job as the MEC of Education in Mpumalanga because of inflating matric results. And then you've got Ace Magashule, and I think the greater focus is here, because what does the Secretary General of an ANC party do? Or what's his job description? He needs to ensure that every aspect of the ANC machinery is running like a well-oiled machine. Now, in politics, there's one important principle that we need to keep in mind. It's one thing to win power, and it's another thing to lead. Ace Magashule, very much like Zuma, is very good at winning power. He's won the premiership of the province, Free State, every year since, even before democracy, right? So he knows how to get into power, in the same way like how Zuma knows how to get into power, how to win a conference, an election. However, once you're in power, to instrumentalize that power, to be able to lead, that's a different matter altogether. Now, if his track record is looked at in Free State, it's not a pretty track record. Apart from all the corruption allegations, just his track record in terms of efficiency, in terms of running his party and running his province. And now here, this man is given the responsibility of running the party, 18 months to go to an national election, which is going to be the toughest election of the ANC to date. For me, that's the scariest thought for the ANC as a ruling party, and that is their greatest challenge. As far as Didi Mabuza is concerned, well, he's going to try and position himself to be the next leader. But that may happen, it may not happen. Just to conclude this particular point, so we've got this mixed slate. It's more of a forced unity than a desired unity. You've got 2 questionable characters there, and Jessie Duarte is also seen as being a part of the Zuma faction. The question is now, whose faction is it, these 3 people? Zuma is a has-been, right? You can see the power evaporating. In Nkosazana Dlamini, Zuma did not get into the equation. So it's no longer Zuma faction. Is it a Premier League faction? Is it a Gupta faction? Who's controlling Mabuza? Who's controlling Jessie? Who's controlling Ace? And what influence will that have on the leadership of the ANC? What challenges would that pose for Ramaphosa, Gwede, and Mashatile on the other side? There is this theory, and I think this theory to a large extent is plausible, that this is maybe what Mabuza wanted. He maybe understood that Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma would bring too much of negativity to the leadership, and maybe whoever's backing Mabuza and Ace, whether it's the Guptas, whether it's the broader Premier League, whoever the handlers are, they probably realize that Ramaphosa is an acceptable face. He'll calm the markets, he'll take the attention away from what's happening behind the scenes, and it's very likely that the looting will continue in the background whilst this acceptable face is presented to the world, that this is our new leader, this is the one you wanted, right? So South African society, you wanted Ramaphosa Yezi. International community, you wanted Ramaphosa Yezi. He's the president of the republic in waiting. But behind the scenes, who's really controlling and who's calling the shots? I think these are the concerns that flow from the outcome of this particular election results?
Well,